Okay, everyone. Yes. This your soul brother Talib, as you best know me from Reality Temples on Earth and AKA Operation Exodus, Mississippi. I just want to make a quick video right now, and this is concerning dealing with the slave mentality of people of soul who are also referred to as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, because of the fact that it was a title given to us, which I'm referencing the word soul back in the 60s, the black liberation struggle, when that was given to us as a title which we proudly owned, and which some of us today, as myself, proudly still own, and which was not given to us by the slave master or oppressor. But however, moving along, I would say this that dealing with us as a people right now under the slave mentality state that we find ourselves in, I must have to say that we are very you know far gone to this point, you know, because first of all, just like our ancestors back in the day only knew as far as the plantation being concerned, which they knew nowhere else to go or no other way out other than being on a slave plantation. Well, that's being carried on all the way up to this generation among us as their descendants, and sadly so, because we still feel like we need Caucasian white people. We still feel like we need, even to remain in this country, far as necessary being, which we don't, you know. I mean, because when you think about it, look at all the stuff that we got to go through, being among Caucasians, you know, and I don't even need no further introduction in speaking on some of this stuff because most of you already know. When it comes to the racism, the gerrymandering, housing discrimination, job discrimination, police brutality, and all that other stuff, mass incarceration, and the list goes on. So I don't need to further go into details, but dealing with all that stuff. But what I'm saying is that we don't know no other way out. Most of us, like I've spoke about in other videos, don't even consider ever even leaving a country, let alone trying to, take control of a state like Mississippi to where we could quarantine ourselves away from all this oppression that we suffer under as a people continually after over 400 years. So we rather remain just in that position. And the reason I'm even bringing up also, again, because I know some of you, in which I understand, don't think it's necessary to leave America. But, you know, it may come to a point where we may not have that choice. I mean, and some of you don't even think about that, obviously. A lot of you don't think about that. We may not have that choice. As you've seen what's happened in the last, especially 4 years up under this nutcase president we have, and how things have gotten even more outwardly worse, far as us as black people being in this country, you know, and you know those who established the system for it to be this way on purpose has no actual intentions of changing it. unless we do what we need to do to separate ourselves from the races, like we've been trying to tell you all along from this platform that I represent, and of course, like I said, but that message continued to fall on deaf ears, and you know, I mean, you know, for a minute, once again, I'm focused on the situation about going to other countries because many of you are under the illusion that there's nowhere like America. Okay. And, you know, social media and the internet, fortunately, has allowed and afforded many the opportunity through research to see that that's not necessarily true, in all cases. And, especially to those of you out there in the pro black conscious community that's always talking about y'all know y'all research, y'all done y'all research, but obviously on a lot of loose ends, y'all haven't done y'all research because y'all wouldn't be speaking the type of language that y'all still speak when it comes to being ignorant to the rest of the world outside of America, And obviously, y'all don't understand that there are other places, especially if we do not have no other choice. There are other places we can go, because at the same time, I know, some may say, well, we gonna have to be up under someone else's laws and someone else's rule, and all that kind of good stuff. And that's true. And I am fully aware and understanding that. But at the same time, right now, what we're going through in America as a group of people, and from what I've even researched so far, other places, where I've came across a lot of black expats who've left this country have no complaints at all, and I'm not saying that it's not racism and other different issues that we're familiar with here in America that exist in those places that a lot of these expats have went to, but they said in comparison it's nothing like America. And so right there I say, well, at that point somebody is not lying, because if too many people is saying the same thing, especially according to first-hand experience, then somebody just simply couldn't be lying about that, And we have to have our open mind to know that, because, you know, right now what we're seeing and what we're facing in this country as a people, we we have no chance right now. We're backed up in the corner. And even, if a new administration come in the next 4 years, you know, don't simply expect that what we're facing now is going to be behind us, because first of all, politically speaking, it's going to take a lot of doing to fix what Trump has destroyed in this country, and all the racial unrest and animosity and hate and animosity going on in this country because of him. It's not going to quickly go away either. I just want you to know that. That's not going to go away. I hate to bust your bubble by saying that, but that's just not gonna go away. And I'm speaking directly to those of you as fellow dark-skinned descendants of slaves born here in America. You know, that's not gonna go away at all. So you might as well just get that out your head and get on board with the soul train and let's get this thing rolling with trying to get this Mississippi campaign off the ground so we could take control of a state like Mississippi where we could have a safe haven from stuff like that that's going on right now in this country. And like someone say, where when other black people get tired of what's going on in places like New York or California, they could come to Mississippi to get away from all that. But if we don't have no safe haven, a place, although that's still going to be a part of the United States under the rule of the federal government, but we'll still have a place we could go where we'll have a safe haven, and then where we could eventually prepare ourselves through more better circumstances to be able to get out this country instead of leaving here as individuals like some of us have already left. But if we don't, choose to do that continually and let that message fall on deaf ears, then I say do what you got to do. And I'm talking to those who've already been thinking about leaving this country. Do what you got to do. Because right now, it's no future for us as a people here, politically. I mean, you got those like the ones in the ADOS movement, and no disrespect to the ADOS movement, but who's pushed the ideal far as reparations, and we've had actual political officials in Washington, D.C., and some that are even our skin color that have straight up said that's not an option to be put on the table. So, I mean, I'm just saying, when you got even us working against each other far as progress go, that's going to be hard. That's going to be even harder. And Marcus Garvey even saw that. He spoke about that almost 100 years ago during his time. And this is the reason why we're still in the position that we are in as a people here in America. Because when we work hard against each other, let alone with the racists who's been working for so long to keep us at the bottom, then it makes it almost impossible for us to truly get anything accomplished toward being a real, true, free people in this country. And so if you really want freedom, especially from what we know it as here in America, as far as life would go for us as a people, then that's something we need to open our minds up to and seriously, think about, and stop, you know what I'm saying, thinking that America is it, because America ain't the all beginning nor the all ending, which I've said one and several other times in different videos I've been in. It's not. And we need to understand and realize that fact, and stop playing, because this is serious. This is very serious. We're up against a lot of stuff here as a people, more than even what our ancestors was up against. And I ain't gonna even go back as far as the chattel slavery. I'm even gonna go just back as far as Jim Crow and segregation. We got a lot to contend with more than our ancestors during the period of time of Jim Crow and segregation had to contend with, whether we want to, accept that reality as a truth or not. I mean, just look around you. At least they knew basically enemy was. We so confused now today we don't even know who the enemy is. Especially when we got a lot of elements to deal with among ourselves when it come to working against each other. So I mean it's at a point right now where you know like I said, I do kind of still keep up with the black expat community that has left America. And, like I say, we have to also respect and understand their point of view because they are a part of us. A lot of us may say they're cowards, they left and ran or whatever, you know. Well, that's your choice. And I can't stop you from thinking or feeling whichever way you want to feel about that. But, you know, one thing I could say for them, at least they ain't got to deal with what we're still over here dealing with. And that's something that could really be taken into consideration as far as that go, you know. And I mean, because as it stands, long as we're still here under this 50-star flag and dealing what we dealing with, we can't call like they say, the pot can't call the kettle. you know, we can't talk about them because at least they made the initiative to go. We still here complaining about what's wrong and what ain't right, far as our condition go in this country, but we're still here dealing with it every day. You know, and especially because we think there's nowhere else to go, which is which it's like institutionalized thinking. I'm gonna just put it straight out there like that. It's just like somebody being locked up in prison, and when they tell you you could go now, and you say no, I'm gonna stay here because it ain't nowhere for me to go. Where I'm gonna go? That type of mentality. That's where a lot of us, as tens of millions of dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America, are in our way of thinking. That's exactly how we think. Even those of us that got material wealth even think that way. You have all the money in the world and all the resources in the world where you could go and live in another part of the world, but you choose to stay here and still deal with the races and the crap that come along with that. So, I mean, it's like, and you're not willing to join and support something like the Mississippi campaign, which you have the resources to do, which you could get that off the ground even faster with your help, you know? So, I mean, those of you like LeBron James, you know, Serena Williams, you know, Kanye West, he ain't worth talking about in that area because he for the power structure. He didn't prove that, but I'm talking about people like the Jay-Z's, the Beyoncé's, and all that stuff. And, you know, you got the power far as resources to help us to get this Mississippi campaign to take control of a state, to even take control of a couple of states, like even Alabama, Georgia, and so forth on, where we can have a safe haven from this racist, but you choose not to do so. So whatever happens to even you, you know, that's just on you. When it comes to this systemic racism going on here in America. And that's just what I have to say about that. I have no pity. I have no sympathy, especially for black people that have the resources that can help change a lot of things when it comes to our situation even more faster than those average ones who don't have them type of resources, you know? you have no excuse. You definitely have no excuse. You know. So I mean, hey, I don't whatever happened to you, I don't even fault the racists for it because some of you have even been in the black conscious community before, like JC, okay, like Common Sense, you know, different that that know what time it is with our situation as a people in America, but you choose not to, lend a hand, like Nick Cannon, you know, you know, look what happened to him when he got his N-word wake up call, you know, but he still don't get it either, obviously. So like I said, when I hear about stuff like that going on, I don't have no pity for people like that. Cause you have the power and resources that can help us to get something like the Mississippi campaign off the ground, to take control of a state where we can have a safe haven from all this brutality with racism that we suffer every day as a people in this country, you know? And that's just a fact. If it wasn't for people like Martin Luther King and them marching and taking risks on their freedom in life, you wouldn't even have the stuff that you have or the resources, opportunities that you have to create for a better tomorrow for us and our future generations to come behind us. You know, so there's a lot of things that black people in this country and even in general don't consider when even it come to that history part of our people in this country. You know, because we're totally caught up in this fairy tale land way of thinking. We caught up in this fairy tale way of thinking. Like manure don't stink. So I mean, and I've even gotten to the point, where I'm not gonna necessarily say I don't care what happens to our people, but at the same time, I could less concern myself with it. Because a lot of us know what we're up against and who are in the position to really be able to do something about it, but don't, you know? And this is why I have no problem myself or with even other people who would like to lead this country all together, you know? Because we ain't, majority of us, especially like I say, the ones who are in the position to help to make a better tomorrow for us as a people are not, you know? And when I first got on this platform with Brother Angel Snup Snup 7, I made it known that I don't even have too much patience to wait around for Negroes, especially those who want to, waste their time, on frivolous talk and no action. Yeah, So, I mean, and this is why I really, like I say, I have no patience for it. I really don't. I really don't. And I'm gonna tell you, in due time, hey, if I could live long enough to be able to obtain the will to to make a move, then hey, it is gonna be what it's gonna be. Because I'm tired of dealing with Negroes like that. You know? That's why you don't see me in too many videos. That's why you don't see me on too many live hangout platforms like I was in the recent past. You you know, being on platforms and arguing and talking with people who want to be disrespectful and all this other kind of stuff. We got too much going on as black people to keep, going around in circles with each other like that. We have a whole big fight outside our circle that we face with, and we don't even see it because we so clouded up in our petty way of thinking and our slave-like, penitentiary-like thinking. And it is a lot of brothers and soul brothers and sisters, even like myself, who have been incarcerated. But you don't have to stay institutionalized either. And see, that plays a lot as a factor with why people are where we at. Because a lot of us, not only those of us who have been incarcerated in the system, but who haven't even been incarcerated in the system, have that way of thinking, whether we want to accept it or not, and whether we know it or realize it or not. We have that type of way of thinking, that penitentiary-minded thinking. And that's the reason why we remain at the bottom, with no one respecting us, no one wanting to have nothing to do with us. And this is why we get what we get. And I mean, what you expect, just like even you got the blacks who voted for Trump. Why you had all that proof out there that he was a straight up racist. How he discriminated in housing against black people and other so-called minorities in the New York City area when he owned this rental estate up there. When he was a owner of, when he was a head of a estate, when he had slews of housing property, and he refused to let blacks move in there because of his racist ways, But you had a lot of blacks who supported him and who still support him in this country, And it's sad to say that when you got black people, especially that support a known racist president, and hey, this is why I understand why other activists give up on the struggle when you see stuff like this. We still have black political prisoners across the country, who've been incarcerated for decades because they was trying to obtain justice and true equality for us as a people, and they've been forgotten about. And some of them come up out of there and say, the hell with the struggle, the hell with the idea of liberation. And who could blame them? Who could blame them? So, this is my thing when it comes to that, I don't know, and this is why I I have no sympathy a lot of times when I hear black people going through what they're going through, And I may be wrong for even saying that, but hey, it is what it is, as somebody would say. And I mean, because we have no excuse. We're not in chattel slavery. We have no excuses. We have opportunities to be able to free ourselves, especially those among us who know that ain't nobody gonna come and give us our freedom or hand us our freedom. We simply gotta take it. And a lot of us are too scared to do that in the most simplest way as possible, without a lot of us losing our lives. And we still scared to do that in that manner, like taking control politically of a state like Mississippi, which is legal. in the way that we could do it. And you've heard several times where we've sat on this platform and outlined basically how it could be done. But like I say, without many of us losing our lives, but it still fell on deaf ears. So, hey, yeah, like someone would tell me years ago, niggas is scared of revolution. Niggas is scared of revolution. I don't doubt that. Just like I was told over 20 years ago by someone, niggas is scared of revolution. And I don't like using that word, but and I don't usually use it in these videos, but that was exactly what was told to me in that exact manner. And that's true. We're scared of revolution. For real. We're actually scared of revolution. Especially those of us who claim we love black people and we about true black liberation and all this old kind of stuff. We really ain't trying to really separate ourselves or liberate ourselves from the races as we so much claim. Because we so engulfed in this materialism in this Western world that we're in. Just like everybody else that is. It's nothing wrong with having some of the finer things out of life, but at the same time, when it comes to sacrificing for our true freedom and liberation, so that we could, all sometimes that got to be put to the side too. I mean, it's some things that you have to sacrifice that you don't want to sacrifice to even obtain real true freedom and liberation. But you too scared to do that, because you scared you might lose your pensions. You scared you might lose your insurance, your Medicaid insurance, or whatever you got going on. And easily when the enemy could take that from you just like that anyway, because they got the power to do so. I mean, but you refuse to see all that. You didn't expect this situation to come about with this COVID thing that the world is under facing, and then you didn't expect to even see somebody like this idiot we got in the White House being president for 4 years, But look what's happening now. And we warned you about this type of stuff even before then. But you like I said, it fell on deaf ears. So now this is what you got. And like I said, I don't have no pity for you. I don't. I really don't care. And I'm gonna say this also too. Hold up for a second, excuse me. You know, a lot of us don't even care about our own families, our own children, our own parents, our own kids, our own relatives, or people that we've been knowing all our lives that was some kind of way close to us. We don't even care about them. So I understand one reason as well, even on that note, why we are in the position that we are in as a people, But hey, and it's hard for us to even put our own differences to the side so we could do something commonly as far as obtaining our liberation. I mean, we don't even know how to do that. And that's just sad. And y'all expect for other black people to want to remain under this system of racism over here in this country and remain among the races like you choose to just accept our slave-like condition as it is, and then turn around, like I said, and call those cowards that chose to make a escape, or however you want to call it, from America. Well, like I say, that's your right to have your opinion on that, but hey, it is what it is, and like I say, for those black expats that left America, I don't blame them, you know, because if I was in their position, I would have probably left a long time ago too. And even hopefully, if I'm alive long enough to be able to, who knows? I might be somewhere, you know, and won't nobody know, because it won't be your business anyway. You know, you don't talk about everything on social media, you know, because you got so many haters out there anyway, especially among us as a people, you know. We don't even want to see each other even progress and even trying to move on or just to get ahead in life, period, no matter where we find ourselves at. So I know, it's not, it's very uncautious just to talk about anything on these videos on social media, you know, because we so hateful toward each other like that, and but anyway, like I said before, and a lot of us, just even when you hear black people who've left America and went to other countries, you tend to hate that and hate on people who do lead this country, far as us, who are dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America. You know, like this brother called Negrito Grande, who got this YouTube channel. Matter of fact, that is called Negrito Grande, and he's based in Mexico. And I've seen so many insults that brother got, or rather yet how he was insulted and disrespected in the comment section under some of his videos, just because of the fact that he left America, you know, even being accused of being an agent and all this other crap, threatening and all this other stuff, you know. If I was him, I wouldn't want nothing to do with your happy ass either. Like he said in one of his videos, he tried to, helped some brothers get down there to Mexico where he at, and they went to acting crazy and acting a fool while they were down there. And he had to apologize to the community that he lives in one of those cities he say he live in Mexico. I forget which city it was, but he said he had to apologize to the local community there for the action of those few soul brothers that he had come down there to visit him, you know? And see, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. And see, if I did the same thing, I definitely wouldn't take nobody with me, you know, unless I had a woman or personal immediate family of my own, like woman and kids or something. Would nobody be going nowhere with me, or unless it was somebody that I could really trust in my circle, like a couple of people or something like that. Other than that, would nobody be going nowhere outside this country with me? Hell no. you know, the hell with that. you know. So you could go over there and act a fool and make things look bad for a brother. We already, you know, people already got a negative outlook on us as far as being black people from America anyway. And you know, and you going overseas or to another country across the border acting a fool, acting ignorant, being your nigga self, hey, so yeah, I wouldn't want to go nowhere with you either. And I wouldn't want you following me nowhere. Yeah, that's just like in the case scenario with that guy Nature Boy. Everywhere he go, you know, he got problems. They even kicked him out of Hawaii, let alone in some of the other countries he was in. They kicked him out of Hawaii. And that's just another state. Although it's across the water, you know, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but they kicked him out of another state. That's bad. You get kicked out of another state outside the continental United States. That's bad. That is really bad. And see, this why I say, you know, that's one reason why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was right when he said that a lot of nations would not accept us as a people under our condition. And I clearly, the more and the more I see stuff like that, I understand why he made that statement. And that statement definitely still stand on true ground today. you know. And that's why Marcus Garvey even said every black, you know, wouldn't necessarily leave America to go to Africa and shouldn't necessarily leave America to go to Africa. You know, and we talking about, you know, black leaders that was way along ahead of some of our time, that saw this coming. And like I said, because we got too many issues. We need to stay here in America and either sort them issues out or continue dabbling into our niggified ways, because like I said, it ain't no use of you going nowhere if you gonna still remain that, which is the N word. And that's just a fact, you know. And but other than that, I mean, hey, my thing is this is that we need to wake up. We really need to wake up and smell the coffee and get out that slave-like mentality, and I will also add that penitentiary mentality, which is basically like the slave mentality. But yeah, we need to get out that mentality. We really do. We really need to get out that slave mentality, because it ain't doing nothing but keeping us hampered. And I mean, hey, what more else can I say other than that? And with that said, you know, I just want to give shout outs to Brother Angel Snup 7, our number one soul brother from this platform, and also shout outs to Sister Noble Levine, and please keep supporting her book called God is on Trial, and also other people that's on our platform like Sister Tangi, and also and those of you who support our platform, shout outs to y'all also. And with that said, peace.